I've been hybrid training for more than a year now, and if I avoided these 5 mistakes I'm about to tell you, I could have progressed more in a shorter amount of time. If you're just getting started with hybrid training, or you've been doing it for a few months, then this video might help you. And I'll start off with the biggest mistake, or sort of the one that slowed down my progress the most. And that is training without a clear goal. At first, I just wanted to be fit, and I didn't really define it. I was lifting, running, biking, and occasionally swimming, but without any clear direction. And the result? Well, my progress was basically non-existent. I was gonna say that it slowed down, but I didn't progress. My strength didn't improve, my running didn't improve. At best, I just maintained an above mediocre level of fitness. Here's the hard truth. You can't chase everything at the same time and expect peak results. This doesn't mean you can't train both at the same time, but you need to prioritize. If you want to run a sub 25k, that's good, but you have to focus on that specific target. You want to deadlift 500 pounds while only weighing, 160. That's good, but remember that your cardio has to complement that, not sabotage it. So doing both at the same time is possible, just extremely hard. And sometimes it is easier to focus on one and then the next one, and after a certain period, combine both of them. So set a goal, make it measurable, stick with it for 8 to 12 weeks, or otherwise you're just training for the sake of training. However, there's a catch. I do think sometimes you have to train just for the sake of training. You shouldn't always be looking forward to a goal. I'm just saying, this is the fastest way to progress when you have a clear goal. But there's one thing that's even more important than actually having a clear goal. And it was a mistake that I made in the past, and that was not enjoying the process. Let me explain. A few years ago, I got obsessed with the idea of doing an Ironman. Sounds badass, right? I was excited as well. I saw Fergus Crawley doing a video and I was like, damn, I want to do this as well. And so I jumped head first into doing an Ironman. Keep in mind, I haven't ran for the past 10 years of my life. I'm exaggerating here, but it's been a long time since I've ran in the past. And there was a reason I didn't run, because I actually didn't enjoy it back then. I didn't look forward to it. I didn't enjoy swimming, and I didn't even have a road bike. So like I said, I dove headfirst into it. I didn't run, didn't bike, haven't swam. And my idea? To do an Ironman, without even enjoying any of the practices. And guess what? I lasted only a month or two, because then I got injured, I got sick, and I just decided to quit. The problem? You cannot fake enjoying the process. And if you want to train for big events like an Ironman, you have to enjoy the process. There's no other way around it. Now, it doesn't mean that all your training should be enjoyable, but overall, let's say 80% of your training needs to be enjoyable, or else you won't be able to do this for a long period of time. And we know for a fact the best way, or the thing that guarantees you to reach your goals, is to do this for a long time. Whether that's lifting heavier, decreasing the time you finish an event, or just simply getting fitter, looking better. It all depends on time. So, more important than anything else is to enjoy the process. Remember that phrase of who enjoys the walk goes further than the one that wants the destination. Something like that. I'll put on the screen because I don't really remember. Sorry. Non-native English speaker here. Sorry. Let's move into the third mistake. When I started adding in running to my training plan, I didn't cut back on lifting. I kept my 6-day push-pull leg split, and I just threw in cardio on top. At first, I enjoyed it because I love training, and so I was training twice a day, and I just thought, I'm so much better than everyone around me. People don't even work out, and here I am training twice a day. So as an ego-driven person, I thought, damn, I'm so much better than everyone else. I was a bit immature. But then within weeks, my sleep got worse, I got stressed, I wasn't able to progress, and I was just dragging myself throughout my entire day. And here's the lesson. You can't just keep stacking training volume like it's a Lego block. It needs to be increased incrementally. You can't just go from 0 to 100. Hybrid training requires intelligent trade-offs. And I always tell this to every single client, that there's always a trade-off with anything you do in life. Anything. I eventually moved to a 3-day full body split, and now I'm currently actually doing upper lower. And I just focus mainly on compound movements and growing my arms, because, well, I have stick arms, I don't know, genetics. I cut out a lot of junk volume, and guess what? I'm getting stronger than ever, while also building my endurance. My runs are getting way better. And think about this with hybrid training. It's not always about doing more, but doing better. Sometimes you're better off decreasing the volume and making it more efficient because you'll get more return for your investment. This is a mistake that a lot of people make when they join the gym, and I'm not talking hybrid training here, but is they think more volume or more sets on a week-to-week basis will grow more muscle. But that isn't the case, because once you increase volume, increase fatigue, probably aren't training that hard, to be honest. So if you're hybrid training, when it comes to the gym, I would adapt a lower volume phase and then increase slowly. It is always better to start with lower volume and increase, rather than starting with a lot, getting injured, fucking yourself up. That's my 2 cents on volume training. Let's move on to the next mistake. I think mistake number 4. And I've only been talking about the gym, but now let's talk about cardio, especially the obsession with zone 2. Now don't get me wrong. Zone 2 is great. It's low intensity, meaning you can increase a lot of volume, and especially when it comes to these long events like the Ironman or ultramarathons, you need to do Zone 2. There's no way around it. But I made this one crucial mistake, kind of, that I thought, well, since Zone 2 is so great, I should only be doing Zone 2. For months, I just ran slowly and steady, hours and hours on end of cardio. Just kidding, it wasn't that many hours, but you get the point. And did I improve? I did. But was it that much? No, really. You see, I have the idea that if you want to go faster, you also need to go faster. There's no way around it. There's a reason sprinters train sprints. If you want to run a faster 5K, you need to practice running a faster 5K. Although Zone 2 again is important, but you need to have some speed work. So again, don't get caught up on this idea that Zone 2 is the god of cardio training. It is very important, and the recommendation tends to be around 80 to 20%, meaning 80% Zone 2, and the 20% in the other zones. Sometimes you can even trade off this ratio a little bit, depending on the training block that you're doing. And remember the point number 2, enjoyment of the process. Sometimes just doing Zone 2 isn't enjoyable at all. Sometimes it would be better off for you to actually skip Zone 2 for a while and just enjoy training. Because at the end of the day, that's what we're here for. To enjoy our life and not just fixated on this goal that we have in mind. Although again, that was point number 1, so contradicting myself a bit here. And finally, the last mistake that caused maybe more problems than the ones previously was not eating enough. What this led to was me losing a bit of muscle, not really feeling good throughout my entire day, just being moody, and yeah, not progressing. When I started this hybrid training approach, I didn't change my diet. I was eating pretty much the same way before I started running. I figured, well, if I'll add in a bit of cardio, and I maintain the calories, I'll just lose a bit of fat, right? I'll be in a slight calorie deficit, and that should be a win, right? Visible abs and stuff. Hey, who doesn't want that? But then the problem was, within weeks, my strength started to slow down. I even started to regress. Oh my god, Portuguese speaker, sorry. I didn't progress, it's easier this way. My runs started to feel harder. I wasn't able to run as far, nor as consistently. All simply because I wasn't eating enough. And that's the tip here. If you're starting hybrid training, you'll need to eat more. Now, if your body fat percentage is a bit higher, you can get away with eating probably around the same because you have fat to burn off. But if you were lean, kind of like me, around the 15 to 20% mark, you should be in a calorie surplus most of the times because it would actually balance out at the end. And to wrap things up, I have one last tip for you, and that is keep track of everything, because you've noticed that I've been saying that I wasn't progressing and I just wasn't enjoying training overall. And that was because I kept track of everything. And if you keep track of everything, then you can start to pinpoint the mistakes that you're doing. And if you don't track anything, you have no idea what you're doing. And remember this, that hybrid training isn't for everyone. And that's okay. This style of training is demanding. And if you're not willing to be consistent with your sleep, nutrition, training, you're going to struggle. But if you do commit, I do think it's a very good approach to training. You'll feel like a real athlete, capable, strong, durable, and I think you'll enjoy life more than just simply lifting weights. And I do this hybrid training because I think it's a challenge for me. I want to see what I'm capable of doing with my own body, how much I can push my boundaries of performance, let's say. And stick around for the next couple of weeks because I'll be doing a video of potentially doing an Ironman. We'll see. With that being said, I'd love to hear what are you training for at the moment. If you're not making mistake number 1, are you training for triathlon, CrossFit, High Rocks, probably High Rocks. Who does CrossFit in 2025? I'd love to hear what you have to say. Let me know what type of content you would like to see as well in the future. And yeah, that's pretty much it for today. Thank you so much for watching. Check out this video because YouTube thinks that you'll enjoy it. And who knows, maybe you will. All right, see you in the next one. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe, please. I'm trying to reach 1,000 so that I can get a Lamborghini because YouTube gives a Lamborghini every time you hit 1,000 subscribers. All right, thank you.